Robert Mueller's report finally dropped last week. People were so excited that in one day, they read all 448 pages and footnotes, which is insane. This was a government report, and we were all treating it like a 50 Shades meets Harry Potter crossover, which, by the way, I've also read, and let's just say, it gave me bonerus erectus, yeah. That means great joy in Latin, that's what that is. Now what's interesting is that the first person to read the full report was William Barr, Trump's Attorney General and unfunny Patton Oswalt. And he released a summary which basically said, no collusion, no obstruction, nothing to see here, move along, right? Basically, the Attorney General made it seem like this was the most boring thing since Canadian spring break, which is just when you put on a pair of shorts for a week and then take a shot of maple syrup, that's all it is. But now that the report has been released to the public, we're realizing that Barr sure left out a lot of juicy details.
Tonight, the nation riveted by the Mueller report, the most anticipated document in a generation, finally public, exposing secrets and lies and detailing explosive new revelations.
The Mueller report is out, and it is very different from what Donald Trump's Attorney General described over the past 3 weeks.
The day Mueller was appointed, May 17th, 2017, President Trump, quote, slumped back in his chair and said, "Oh my God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm effed."
Okay, I'm sorry, that is hilarious. When Trump found out Mueller was investigating, he slumped in his chair and said, "I'm You know why I like that? Because he always acts like nothing phases him, you know, chin up, shoulders back, tummy out. But it turns out, Trump panics about his presidency as much as the rest of us. That's nice to know, yeah. It's a good feeling to know, yeah? It's almost like we're on a plane with crazy turbulence and we all think we're in this alone, but the pilot is also in the cockpit like, I'm effed.
Ladies and gentlemen, no collusion, everything is fine.
I'm effed. So it turns out, when Barr summarized the Mueller report, he forgot to mention that Trump's entire administration panicked at the idea of being investigated. And in addition to that, his summary absolved Trump of obstruction of justice. What it didn't mention was that for 2 years, Trump was constantly trying to stop the investigation. The only thing that prevented him from doing that is that the White House is baby-proof.
The report details several cases of senior advisors declining to take actions that could have obstructed justice. The president's staff ultimately may have saved him by ignoring his orders. The report cites at least 7 different individuals close to the president who declined to do what he asked regarding the investigation.
The president telling White House counsel Don McGahn to fire Mueller. McGahn refused, telling then Chief of Staff Reince Priebus that the president had asked him to do crazy ass.
Wow. The president asked him to do crazy S. We all know what that means. Crazy sex. Yeah, it's whips, chains, magic spells, you know, the kind of stuff you read in 50 Shades of Gryffindor, yeah? Like crazy S, that's the thing sorry, what? Oh, it's not, oh, crazy shit, oh. Oh yeah, that makes, sorry, I didn't count the little stars. Oh yes, he asked him to do crazy shit, not crazy sex. But that's right. Trump was constantly telling his aides to do obstruction-y things, and they just ignored him. So that was basically obstruction of justice. And you know, in a way, this is almost comforting. Because you realize that yes, Trump is corrupt enough to want to abuse his powers, but he's also too lazy to follow through. That's a nice thing to know. In fact, wouldn't it be great if other bad people in history were also this lazy? You know, like if the Nazis were like, we found Anne Frank in the attic. Attic stairs. Forget about it. Ich will nicht. Oh mein Gott.